So, yeah, my name is Barry Fraser. Just to give you a little bit of my background, I graduated in Business Information Systems in Leeds Metropolitan University. I have two passports, UK and Canada. I went into sales. My first job was IT security at Lloyds Bank. Delivered a $400 million project. Went to Canada. I worked for Canadian Automobile Association, Canadian Tire, and retail, all multi-million-dollar projects for system upgrades, etc. Then I moved to Toronto Hydro as a business analyst. Then I became project manager at Royal Bank of Canada, TD Bank, Bank of America. So my resume is fairly vast. And if you total it all up, it's about $6 million. That being said, you're either capable or you're not. So, as I said, the only reason I even got the interview was I just happened to be on an U-Bahn going to see a friend. And I heard of the developers, and they were kind of bashing HRS a little bit on the U-Bahn, right? Nothing works, blah, 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 blah. And I sat listening for about 10 minutes, and I said, "You work in IT, you're a developer, aren't you?" And they said, "Yes." I said, "What's the problem?" So I actually said, "Well, if you do this," I can't remember the exact issue. And they're like, "Okay, so my resume got forwarded to Sven. Sven then emailed me and said, we'd like you to come for an interview." I'm like, "Okay, great." Now, bearing in mind I've been attacked in Bonn, and I had my laptop stolen, my passports, everything at the time. I said, "I don't know if it's a great time for an interview. Can you give me a little bit?" So what happened was I just know a friend in Yapoteka, and I just happened to pop over, and I said, "Oh, it's Sven here. I'm supposed to have an interview with him." So he came down, and I said, "It's a bit of an impromptu arrival, but I just wanted to meet you face to face, shake your hand, and if we can arrange a time for an interview, that'd be great." He's like, "Well, you kind of look like a bum, but I'll take you for an interview now." And I just was like, "Okay, you can't do that. First of all, you can't do that." And I said, "You're right, okay." And I was kind of like, and he said, "I'm a bit busy now, but if you go to the canteen, I'll come and get you later." And I said, "Do you have any idea what time? I'll come and get you later." So I sat through there, and there's obviously colleagues or employees of HRS, and they're like, "Who are you?" And all of a sudden, I feel like a bit of an idiot, right? So there's two police cars outside, and they're flashing sirens. And I just said, "Look, do you mind if I have a coffee or a banana or something? I have to wait for this guy." And they're like, "Oh, it's not normal. You just get left in the canteen." And I said, "To be honest, I'm not sure what's happening right now. I don't have a time. I'm not sure." So then a colleague went and raced and got someone, and then Sven came back and then said, "Oh, why don't you wait in this canteen where you got me the coffee?" That's where I was sat, right? Because he was actually interviewing other people at the time. So then he said, "Look, I'll be about an hour, don't worry about it." I said, "Do you mind if I set up my computer? I'm just going to review some of my stuff." "Sure." 2 minutes later, "Oh, come in." So I had to unplug all my laptop and everything again. And there was a lot of noise because someone was playing bagpipes or something outside. And I said, "Is it okay if we go to another room? It's very difficult to communicate. No, we'll stay here." So he said, "Look, we have 3 positions, IT managers. I've had a look at your resume. You're obviously very skilled. I heard about how you came to the interview. You're not dressed appropriately for an interview." I said, "Yeah, but I didn't come today for the interview. I only came to meet you, to shake your hand, to arrange an interview. And then you called me a bum." And he's like, "Dad, don't worry about it. It was just, I've had a busy day." And so I was like, "Okay." So he asked me the certain questions, and I was giving him answers because he didn't know the answers to the questions. So when there was a few technical questions, I would give a technical answer, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know if that's right or not." And then I'm starting to think to myself, like, what's going on here? And at the end of the day, he said, "Look, you obviously know what you're doing. We'll get you in for a second interview straight away. We're still interviewing." And he actually described 3 different departments, which I would be very suitable for as long as I passed the second interview. And I said, "Yeah, okay." So the interview lasted like 20 minutes, which wasn't really a lot to ask, and they were very basic questions. And for an IT manager position, I thought it would have been a little bit more professional. And then at the end of it, it was kind of like, "Okay, I gotta go." And normally when you're in an interview, you get shown to the door, "Thank you very much, we'll be in contact." He just took off. So I went and said, do you mind if I use the bathroom? Yeah, sure. And then someone's banging on the door in the bathroom to get out, security. And then I'm walked by security to the door and out. And I just kind of got outside and I was like, did that just really happen? So then I didn't get a response from Sven. So then I emailed him saying, just as a follow-up to our impromptu interview that you said seemed to go very well. You said there'll be a definite second interview. And he said, oh, all positions have been put on hold. And I said, okay, but you didn't inform me in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, sorry, that's what happened. So then I actually detailed from start to finish what happened. I said, I don't think it's appropriate to call someone a bum in an interview more than once. You left me hanging for hours when I didn't know what was going on, to the point other colleagues had to come and try and find you. I then was left in the canteen and told an hour, so I thought, okay, I'll quickly prep. Then you come and get me 2 minutes later. Then I can't hear you very well because of the noise, and can we move to another room? Then you don't know the answers to your own questions, and then you leave me hanging as we go out the door in an interview. And I just said, oh, I put this in an email, I wasn't rude, and I just said, I'm kind of speechless as to how that interview went, because you seem to think I was the greatest thing ever, even though I was dressed like a bum. And he said, after that he said, yeah, but we all dress casually anyway. And I just said, you can't call someone that. So once I detailed that, I got no response. I said, just on a professional level, Sven, can you at least explain to me the process from start to finish, why that happened? Zero response. And I was just never told anything. And I came away with a real bad taste in my mouth, because first of all, you have to remember, is the whole reason I heard about HRS was 2 employees were bashing HRS on the U-Bahn, and I thought, oh, I'm capable, I'll come in, I'll help, I know what I'm doing. And even in the interview, he was like, wow, you got a great resume. And then to be treated like that, it really felt like I was garbage. And I'm like, I'm trying to help. I know I can do the job. And the thing that was weird was he clearly stipulated, we need people urgently. There's these 3 positions, you're so capable, you could probably go into each one. And then, even if the jobs were postponed, he didn't even tell me. I had to email him for him to email me. Then I detailed the barrage of insults and no response. I've never, even pre-university, had an interview like that.
No, I mean, for sure, that's not the way you should have an interview, for sure, and also not in general, and of course also not at HRS. That's not, for sure, not the style. I haven't been involved, I haven't heard of it so far, so I just can, pick this up,
Correct.
And then take it
I
with
can
me.
send you the emails.
I guess we have that here, I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah.
So I request that. So I can just, the only thing I can do for now is really apologize, for HRS, for sure, because definitely this is not, the normal way.
Well, it's hospitality as well, right? HRS is hospitality, I thought, of all the places.
Yeah, and this is honestly, this is not how we treat not our employees, not candidates, not customers. This is definitely not the way we handle things normally. I mean, of course, it can happen that all the rooms are full. That it doesn't, that your agenda is full. That if someone is stepping by, you just can't offer an interview. But then, of course, it should be that you say, okay, unfortunately, my agenda is full for today. But let's schedule a meeting.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Of course, that's the way it should be handled for sure. And then, of course, that you get a response after an interview. That's also for sure. We have it often that, for example, kind of the first touch points with our recruiting colleagues from HR, they are not necessarily that long, and of course they cannot ask the concrete questions like someone could, out of your department. This is why, for example, in the second interview, there's always, or normally also in the first personal interview, there's normally always the specialist out of this business unit together with the recruiter
Right.
in the interview, because
Right.
this is not, as a recruiter for so many positions, you can't be a specialist on each position.
To see if I know what I'm talking about.
Right. So
Right.
therefore, normally, there's always someone like the hiring manager involved, in these
Yeah.
interviews. And I think, this is only what I can imagine, because I have not been part of that. That maybe, whatever. Probably Sven wanted to do something good, have the talk to you, and it was too quick and no chance to invite someone to the interview. But of course, definitely the attempt is that you go out of the interview and you say, hey, HRS is a great place to be. No matter, if it works out with the position or not.
I mean, I can't remember your first name, sir. Sarah, sorry. The actual interview process, I've had good interviews and bad interviews, right? Or interviewers. The thing that I struggled with was left in the canteen.
Yeah, I know.
Moved in the
Absolutely.
canteen.
No.
I didn't know what was going on. The questions, he actually physically said, I'm asking these questions, but I don't know the answer. Even if you don't tell me that, right? It's not professional. So anyway, I said, I'll tell you the answer. This is the generic answer that you would give to this. And he's like, oh, you can maybe help me. And then he was the one that the three divisions will definitely call you back for a second interview. I'll definitely be in contact. And then when I went up there, I went to the bathroom directly, and then he said, I gotta do some work, I gotta go. Normally you get taken to the door, thanks very much for, and so I went in the bathroom, and then one of the security guards was banging on the door, I think you have to get out now, and I'm just like, it was to a degree that I actually felt, not attacked, I can't think of the right word, but I wasn't treated with any respect. And the thing is, as well, is, like, let's say we have an interview here, right? But I don't remember which room we were in, but there was bagpipes constantly playing. It was difficult to hear, and I just said, do you mind if we move room now? I think it's okay here. And it was just bizarre. And I really, I emailed them, and the last email I sent, and it was a few weeks ago, so I don't know exactly verbatim. But I said, just on a professional level, Sven, I think I'm owed the courtesy of at least an explanation as to what happened, and not even a reply. And I'm kind of dumbfounded. One, because, okay, I came into a big corporation, but HRS is supposed to be about hospitality in the first place. And then to do that, it was just shocking.
Of course, very, like you tell to me, of course, I also, what can I say? This is, I can, just honestly apologize from my side for HRS, and also, really, this is not normally how we treat people. I mean, otherwise we would probably have no staff here. If you treat people like this, and this is honestly not the way we behave. This is not how we treat anyone, no matter, as visitor, as candidate, whatever. This is definitely not how it should be handled. One point which is very important for us is the candidate experience, because this is kind of the first step into employee life cycle with HRS. So therefore, of course, normally, yes, sometimes it can happen that we say, okay, you get a feedback into, I personally never say 2 days if I cannot guarantee 2 days. Then I say, okay, I have to reach out to the hiring manager, that can take some time, please, give me 1 week if it's needed. But sometimes, yes, I don't want to, make it nicer than it is, but sometimes it can happen, that the feedback is not directly, or that it takes a few days, But of course, we always try to be reliable. We always try to give someone a good impression. So I just can say, I'm sorry, I have not been within the process, but this is something which is not normal, because I'm not sitting here every week with
Sure. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
The one thing I recollect is when he was interviewing that day, right? And he said, "Oh, you'll fit right into my interview schedule." That's how the whole thing happened. But when I actually got placed in this canteen, I just remembered when he said, "I'll be about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm just about to go into an interview with a candidate." He came out 5 minutes later and went, "Yeah, the interview's over." And I'll be honest with you, that started ringing alarm bells to me. And then when the whole process went like that, I'm like, does this job even exist, or is this a mock job? Because you can't interview someone in 5 minutes. And you know what he said? well, I never saw the candidate, but then he was ripping on the candidate that he just interviewed before me. He said I wasn't wasting my time anymore. He could hardly speak English. He was from India, completely useless. And I'm like, I didn't say anything, but I'm like, you shouldn't be telling me this. You're ripping on another candidate to me right before I'm supposed to come in for an interview. You can't do that. I just remembered, and I'm just like, I didn't say nothing because I thought, well, it's not going to be Sven I'm working for if I got the job. So just keep it closed and see what happens. And then what happened afterwards was just as bad. And I just thought, to be honest, I just remembered that because I was going to look through all my slides and get myself ready, and I thought it was going to be a detailed interview. And for the first 5 minutes in the room, he was ripping on the other person who just had, I don't know, he never gave his name, thank God. But he was ripping on the person who just had the interview. You can't do that. That's what I mean. It's so unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
But let me pick that up. Because I cannot. What should I say now? I will take that with me.
I
will
can send you
definitely.
emails, no problem.
You don't have to.
Okay.
I will get them. I will definitely pick that up, and I only can apologize towards you. That this was such a unpleasant experience. Yeah. Honestly, I'm happy, that you reached out to us again, because I think this is important, to at least give us the chance, because it's, yes, of course, everyone should always work on a professional level. You know that sometimes it doesn't work out, which it shouldn't, but this is not kind of the style of the company.
Well, it's not even unprofessional, it's kind of a little bit dangerous, right? Because if he's giving details of another candidate, calling me a bum and things like that, if it was just the interview process, and the interview process is not done well, hey ho, what it is what it is. But it was the other elements to it, the bathroom, the name calling.
It's the whole thing.
Right, and it was just a shambles. Yeah, so I mean, I would really like to know what happened. Because, I mean, even if you see the emails that I wrote Sven, I wasn't angry. I didn't write, why did you do that? I tried to be as professional as I could. And not even to be courteous enough to send a response. I'm like, put me through all that and not even respond. I mean, it was poor. Really, really poor.
Let me pick that up internally, and so that and please, just take my apologize for now.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, we will pick it up internally. I will, for sure,
Will I find out what happened, or will I find out anything, or is it just a case of that's it?
No, I will ask them, of course. I have to get into the picture.
Sure.
From all sides. That's important for me. And then let me wrap that up, and I will check the emails, and we'll check what you asked for, and then we will get a response.
Okay. Should I detail my email at front desk, or my phone number, or?
I would get the information. If you had sent an email, we will have it.
He has my, unless he deleted my resume, he has my resume. My legal stuff.
Okay. So if you have sent an email, I have your email address. I get it.
I just don't know what he's done with my information. That's the thing. So whether he still has it or not, I don't know.
I bet he does.
Okay.
Barry, thanks for stepping by, and please really take my honest apologies. It's not the way or treat.
Well, can I ask what position Sven is? Is he like a junior HR, or is he an actual HR representative?
He's a recruiter at HRS.
He's a recruiter.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't like he was 18 or something, right? He was Anyway, I felt I had to get it off my chest, and I will look forward to your response.
Okay.
Thank you.
But this coat is really quite warm for today.
Well, the thing is, the weather changed so much, right? It was cold this morning.
In the morning it was cold, that's true.
Yeah. So when I get outside, I'll probably just put it in my backpack.
Yeah, it's the May weather, so looking
It was
forward
freezing
to
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was nasty.